All right, the infamous or famous Chateau Rouge, and oh, this is really crazy. But anyway, so this is, when you come out, this is the train station. You come out of this train station. It's called Chateau Rouge, and yeah, metro station, not like that, but. And when you see people selling stuff on the streets, and people are like, oh, I thought, and people are like, yeah, oh, look at this is Africa. And I'm just like, well, they're not wrong, but they're not right either. Because the whole concept, when they say, oh, this is Africa, they're basically trying to say, oh, look, they're pointing out the negative things about the area. But of course, a lot of even Africans will tell you it doesn't feel like France, this street. And I wanted to see it for myself. A lot of people selling things on the street. So you have like North Africans and but there is no one nationality. It just feels like a lot of people from everywhere, from a lot of African diaspora here, people selling things, food, like local food. I would question the hygiene, because if you don't know where all these are from, it might be hard just to say I'm going to, because these are people just selling on the streets with no. It seems this is the main street, and you see a lot of Asians as well. So is that it? Like 2 minutes walk, you're out of the street. All right, let's go and explore this other side of it. All right. What I find fascinating is how if you own a shop and you're paying taxes, and then you have all the other informal people selling their own products in front of your store, how do you manage that? Or are they buying from you and then just selling in front? I don't know, wholesale, retail. I have to say it's a little disappointing, because I was expecting it to be bigger. It's just like you're 2 minutes out of the, because when you watch online and what people actually say, they're like, ooh, this is really Africa, and then 2 minutes it's over. I'm like, no, you can do better than that. And then also people tend to want to make it sound dangerous, but it just feels like a normal market, and just people, all the stores you could buy, you know, wigs and things. So basically it's just like import-export area, nothing extraordinary. You have a bit of yeah, nothing. Okay, supermarket. It says Paris 7 mini marché. Yeah, but nothing out of the ordinary so far. It's just a market with, you know, bistro and all that. So what makes it a bit more informal it's not actually the store, the shops. The shops are just, you know, normal, regular shops with, you know, products from Africa. And but what I don't, I mean, North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa and Black Africa, if you want. But what I'm is just it's very small than what I was expecting. I like the battery. The woman was like, "Hey, oh, come and taste this one. My one tastes better." They're selling the same products, but I think the hustle lifestyle and mine tastes better. And she was like, "Oh, I'm not buying from you. He's giving me the same. I'm getting 13 for I don't know how much, and then he used to give me 10."
Attends, on va attraper.
I see exotic products as well. Chinese, Asians representing as well. And then this store. Yeah. Exotic products, it says. Exotic, whatever. I'll understand. Exotic makes it sound like, you know, a nightlife dancer called Diamond Rodriguez. Exotic woman, whatever. But here, exotic products, it's the same thing. Okay, I want tropical products. That would make a bit more sense. But it doesn't matter. All right. So it's so this is the main street here. I'm just going to cross the main street again, but I was expecting it. Rue de Jean? Rue de Jean? All right. I was expecting the main street to be longer, but then anytime you see it on the internet, it's like, oh, look. It's like, oh, look at this. This is Africa. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Not really. But okay, if you say Little Africa, I think I can understand the concept of that. But most of the people coming here and filming want to give you the impression that it's like an urban jungle. It's just like a little enclave in Paris, a few streets, a couple of blocks, and that's it. I think this place will be really boring without the informal people. It would just be an ordinary market. So what makes it a bit more interesting and a bit lively are all these people selling things. Look at that, underwears and women buying. So obviously there's a sort of a demand, and so I can understand that. So nice. So it's really a small area. I was expecting it to be bigger, because this is the entrance of the metro station of Chateau Rouge. And then once you're out of the Rue de Jean, you're just into the streets, and then people selling other things. I don't know why people are saying, oh, they're selling raw, what's it called? Nuts. All right. So it's not, I wouldn't say. Okay, now you see, you've seen regular stores now without a lot of the informal street vendors. So So, you know, phones, I don't know, yeah, phones and all these other things. And you're walking, say, 5 minutes from the train station, you start to see that you have less street vendors and you just see regular shops. So, yeah, nothing really to write home about. I wouldn't say it's disappointing, it's just, you know, different. You know, the way it was portrayed online, I thought it was going to be like this massive setup. Of course, when you walk down the street, you are in an area where you have more immigrants, so there's a bit more flavor here. But it's not a big deal. But I think it's very helpful when you understand the story of how this all came about. When you look at places like, it just reminds me of places like the Bronx, and then in New York, and all these other areas where you have a lot of black presence. That a big part of the problem was actually created by the people who made it impossible for a lot of the minorities to properly integrate and have a better life. And then once it's gone down the drain, you blame the same people that you that you marginalized and blame them for the problems. So yeah. But when you think about it, and if you look at the struggle of a lot of, just think about America, because America, as they say, America sneezes and everyone catches a cold. If you look at the story, I think it's fascinating that only segregation and all these other things is like maybe a couple of generations back, and most of the people who experience that are still alive. Well, a lot of them are still, well, let me rephrase that. Some of them are still alive. Let's not exaggerate. But even the school, the first school to be integrated, I think the girl who went to the school, and there were pictures of people trying to, she only wanted to go to school and they wouldn't let her. And she's still alive. So when you think about all those issues, I'm amazed that a lot of black people in general, migrants in general, have actually made a lot of progress in the past 60, 70 years. Look at a lot of some of the CEOs of major companies are probably Asians. In the world of sports, before, in the days of J.C. Owen, where he did a good job of being, winning gold for America and just representing those things that people call the master race. And he just showed that, if you gave people the opportunity, you just never know what they could achieve. Look at that. How women have come a long way before the war, where they were not allowed even to work outside of the homes. And then all the men went to war, and the women were like, let's do this, and they went to the factory. And they were able to do the jobs that was considered only for men, and that, okay, women didn't have the brain power, and apparently it was a lie. So you see the problem? So it transpires that it was all a BS, and it was just protectionism. You blame women for something they can't do because you wouldn't let them do it, and then, anyway, you get the point. So, coming here, let's bring the conversation back to France, and here, where are we? Barbes, Rochechouart. Oh, it's not too far. So Barbes, Chateau Rouge are all, well, within the same vicinity, but, slightly different vibe. So, So this is a different vibe. You still see some street vendors, but nice suit. It's really, I find Paris a little fascinating, especially when you're outside the more touristy area. When you come to like very residential, oh, that child has just decided to go for a run, and mother just said, we can't have that. Oh, protesting. I wonder what he wants. It takes a lot of patience to be a parent, otherwise you probably lose your mind. Shoes. Yeah. I think it's fascinating to see the idea of how cities are set up, how enclaves are created, how you manipulate people into basically voting for their own, well, disinterest. For example, there was a commentary, someone made a comment online about immigration. And when you talk about it, most people just think, yeah, there's just too many people. And there is just too many immigrants coming in. And does the statistics really match up? Is it that bad? Is it that good? And then it transpires, it all depends on who's counting. If you're from the left counting, oh, we need immigration. We need, the population is in decline. People are not having enough children. You need the manpower. You've got statistics to back that up. If you're on the right about immigration, too many people taking our jobs, taking our daughters, taking our everything, our education, and there's a lot more crime. The taking our is relative. Crime is also relative depending on where you are. In some parts of yes, in some parts of the immigrant population, you see more crime. But then it is also the place with the less investments and less opportunities. Is there a correlation between that? Yeah, to a certain degree, there is. Because when you look at every country, you just forget the idea of immigration for a moment and think about any country in the world. The more marginalized a community is, the higher the crime rate. Just that simple. And then you also have the issue of people, crime that is not often reported or not reported by the media the way you would expect it. This is white-collar crime. Remember Barron's Bank? You know, the guy who brought it down? And the people who were aware of it and did nothing about it, and that crashed and impacted a lot of people. Remember Boeing? Everyone knew something was off, and guess what? All the big people, and then hundreds of people died. So, when I say it's relative, it is that if you want to use statistics, it's very hard to actually look at it in a comprehensive way and come to a comprehensive solution, because you need to look at it in a way that works for you, in a way that would fit your agenda, because everyone has an agenda. And I think that is where the problem is. A lot of people just everyone has an agenda. A lot of people look at it, and someone put it nicely. He said one of the biggest problems that you see is that immigration. Look at people say France is bad and all that, but when you look at like Eastern countries, like Eastern Europe, Eastern Europe, for example, with the amount of, they don't have as much immigration issues, but the economy isn't as strong as France, or as strong as Germany with a huge percentage. Where are we? I don't know where we are. Interesting. Oh, I think we're Gare du Nord. Okay, we're back here. I don't even know how we got here, but anyway, we've been going round in cycles. So, when you look at the economy of these countries, and you're thinking, I would have thought, even look at America, a country of immigrants, and it is still the #1 power in the world. And it's still the #1 power in the world. So you ask yourself, is the problem really immigration? Or is it that the narrative is like a sort of conquer and divide, where you use immigration as the backdrop to tell a story the story you want? Now that said, people are saying the other problem is sometimes about immigration. When you look at people with look at the Chinese when they came in. A lot of people like buying made in China, but they don't want Chinese people in their country. It doesn't make sense. But they like eating Chinese food. It's cheap, delicious, affordable, and it's quick. So, I think this is enough for today. Enough of this rambling about immigration. I like the Gare du Nord station. It's really, they've put in a lot of effort into making it nice. And look at that. Really nice. On a beautiful day, it's nice. And even the hotel in front of the Gare du Nord is sort of fancy. So there you go. The funny thing is that this is the area that's considered, around the area that's considered dangerous. It is actually. All right. There are some dodgy streets around here, and the reason why is because, it's because, well, you know, you've got a bunch of homeless people sleeping rough, maybe people with addiction on the side. So, what do you expect? It's going to be rough. Yes, so I think the more you look into a city's migration, immigration, I think Trevor Noah said something about immigrants, that when you claim they don't speak your language and they also just do their own thing, and then you're thinking, well, he said that's very British, because when you think about it, when the Brits went everywhere to colonize, you know, Britannia ruled the waves, the sun never sets on the British Empire, and all that superlatives that they use for the empire, you get into a situation where people are like, they didn't bother to learn the language. They did their own thing. So, what else do you expect? So everyone coming here and just imitating them, that's a very British thing to do. And that was like, oh, people were like, shut up, we don't want to hear that. And that's it.